So in this chapter, we are beginning to address the incomprehensibility of evil. Kristen, in Ephesians, how do we address that?
So Ephesians gives us some great tools for beginning to address this, which again are often marginalized in the Western church. Powers and principalities, demons, things that go bump in the night are not things that we address very often in evangelical circles. I mean, maybe if you're kind of charismatic, but we don't really talk about the connection to violence or the connection to the unity of God's people. And yet Ephesians 3 has this crazy thing to say where it says that through the church, the multicolored wisdom of God is being made manifest to powers and principalities.
And the multicolored wisdom of God is about the unity, the diversity in unity of God's people.
Right. So when we're trying to deal with understanding both the mystery of evil and the mystery of the gospel, which Paul is talking about in Ephesians 3, if we don't understand what powers and principalities are about and how they're impacting us, how violence and sin is about more than just my individual choices, but there's actually something about it that exceeds human choices entirely, that exceeds even our choices communally. Powers and principalities. We really need to understand that, and we need to understand how God in Christ has freed us from the dominion of powers and principalities and the many, many ways that they're impacting how we think and live together. The many ways in which we, as Ephesians says, follow the course, the pattern that's set out by the prince of the power of the air, right? So Ephesians describes Christ's liberation as this breaking through the barrier that the powers and principalities have imposed, coming down, rescuing humankind, and lifting us up to be seated above what the powers and principalities are trying to do, and the mechanisms of violence and sin and degradation that they're imposing on us.
Yeah.
And I have studied this topic, I think, more than most. I'm about to complete my PhD in Bible, 3 whole degrees in Bible and theology. And I'm going to tell you that I learned some things in studying for this book, which I had never discovered before. And honestly, I felt a little cheated. I really felt like somebody should have told me this. I had to go to a Jewish Studies Department lecture online to learn what I learned about how powers and principalities were really understood in the Greco-Roman world and the context that Paul is addressing. And I felt cheated because it changed completely the way that I look at not only Ephesians, but really the entire New Testament.
Wow.
And it has a big impact on how we understand violence.
Yeah.
So you can't miss it. You've got to read chapter 6.